What's up, my honey buns? It's your girl Kira, and today we're going to be doing a story time about how I met my fiance. So let's get into the video. Alright, we're going to start off by saying I'm not going to use any name besides my fiance's name. Okay, so I was working at this job, McDonald's, and I had just came out of a fresh relationship, a relationship that, you know, I went through a lot in that relationship, but this is not about that. Another story time for another day. So, I had been applying for a job at this call center. Had better pay than, of course, McDonald's at the point of time. I wasn't getting minimum wage, but I was making enough to support everything I needed. So, and this was about 3 years ago, so about 2016. So this was in October 2016. So this, I had an interview, of course, at the call center. I had got the job. I had an interview, got the job. And once I filled out all my information and stuff, they was like, we're going to call you for a training class. So I was like, okay. They called Monday afternoon. It was like, well, we need you to come in tomorrow at such and such time and to start your training class. So I was like, okay. Get up, of course, get dressed, go to the job. And I walk into the training class with, it's about 17 of us. Well, originally it was about 18 of us in there. And, of course, throughout the week, 2 people fell off. Like they never came back. So, the way the classroom was set up is the computers and the chairs were around the room, a square room. So they would line up around the room. So there's a big open space in the middle. And my back lined up to my fiance. At the point in time, he was just Michael to me. So, and I can hear him like clear as day. Even though it was across the room, my hearing was A1. And I was sitting next to this girl who I knew from back in the day in my neighborhood. And, you know, I had started talking to her. And I had another guy sitting next to me who was gay. And so I had throughout that week, I had a conversation with him and her about him. I had seen him when I first entered the classroom, but I didn't shoot my shot. I waited. So the week goes by and the weekend comes, and me and her, the girl that I was sitting next to, so we had talked about linking up and, you know, kicking it and catching up. So after the class, me and her were waiting outside for our rides, and I seen him also. He was waiting on a ride. and we me and her exchanged numbers, and I looked at him and I seen him was looking at me, so I was like, do you want my number too? And he was like, yeah. I thought it was so weird. I thought that was so weird, but I said it came up and it came out. So we exchanged numbers, and I called my phone. I called my phone from his phone and made sure I locked the number in so I would know who it was. So another week comes up, we at work, and we seen each other during lunchtime, and I ended up getting my friend to sit with me so that I wouldn't be by myself, and he came and he ended up sitting in front of me. So I thought that was kind of weird, but ended up sparking a conversation, of course. And everybody, just talking. No particular conversation in between me and him. So we just end up talking. So the weekend comes again. I was just like, I gave this man my number a week ago. He has a call. He has a text. Like, something's up. I don't know if he had to get a feel for me or what, but something was up. So I was just like, Saturday afternoon, if he don't text or call me by then, I'm going to text him. So Saturday came, noon came, and no call or text. So I was like, okay, I'm about to call. Freak this, I'm about to call. So I didn't call. I text, and I was like, hey, what's up? He was like, no, I was like, hey, what's up? This is Marqueria. And he was like, oh, hey. And I was like, what are you doing? And he was just like, watching a game. I was like, what game are you watching? He was like, Alabama and, I don't know, Ole Miss or, it was a game. It's football season. So, I was like, oh, okay, I'm an Alabama fan. He was like, so am I. And, the conversation sparked there. I ended up asking him what took him so long to text me. And he really didn't have an excuse. I'm assuming he just forgot. I don't know. I just don't know. So, of course, we're texting. We ended up on the phone. And a bond was made that day. Those days. Because we talked that whole entire weekend. The following week, when we went back to work, 15-minute breaks and lunch breaks were spent together. And the job hours were from 7 to 11. Then it was split. We had a whole 4-hour break, and then we would come back at 4 in the afternoon, and we would leave. The job would officially be over at 8. So one particular day after work, I didn't have a job to get. Didn't have a ride to get home. So he was like, I could ask my mom, can she drop you off? And I was just like, no. And he was like, don't worry about it, ask him. So he asked his mom. Of course, she said yes. And when I walked up to the truck, she was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, hey, how are you? And she was like, baby, what's your name? And I was just like, it's Marqueria. And she was just like, you don't have a nickname people call you? I was like, yes, ma'am. People call me either Kira or MK. So she was just like, oh, okay, MK is better for me because I can't say your name right. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And from that day, she's called me MK. So they ended up taking me home. Of course, me and him said our goodbyes. And then I was at home. But the whole ride, he was telling me that the whole ride from my house to home, his mom was asking questions about me. So I was like, that means you need to get to know me better if your mom's asking questions and you don't know the answer to those. So, of course, that made our relationship just a little bit more stronger. So, another weekend come, and I end up having a party at my house, football season. So, he ended up meeting my friends, and more of the story, he met my friends, and we spent a lot of time together. A lot of time. So we end up having to have a conversation where we're gonna decide if we're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend or not. And so he was like, yeah, I'm feeling you and we got a great vibe, so yeah, I think we can do this. All right, my honey bun, so that concludes this video about me and my wonderful fiance. Please comment and tell me what's your favorite part about this story, and of course, like the video. Please subscribe and turn your post notification on, because there is plenty more to come. Peace.